Yes, just I just first thought or question is just how's the adjustment to Grand Rapids gone, and what was your reaction to being named captain there after being captain in Providence?
Yeah, no, it's been great here in GR. It's a great city. The organization has been amazing, and welcomed me with open arms, and it's been a lot of fun. Here with the guys, and it was an honor to be named captain. Of this great organization here, and to be a part of the Red Wings and the history there. It's truly an honor to be captain and help lead this team.
When you were a free agent this summer, what made Detroit Grand Rapids seem like a good fit for you?
I think just like I said, the history here and the culture, and they win, and I want to win, and I want to help this team win a championship, and they've done it in the past, and I kind of want to help, bring another one home to here in GR.
And just last thing for me, you're coming into a team, obviously you're new head coach, a lot of changes in the off season. How do you as a captain try to pull everything together and help, build that cohesion early on?
Yeah, I think it's a big team effort, between the coaches and the players, and it's just all the communication, the coaches talking with us, and the guys on the team voicing their opinions. And I think we got a strong leadership group. It's not just me. We got a lot of older guys here, and guys that know how to lead and do their thing. So I think it's just everyone doing their little thing to help bring us together as a whole.
Hey Josiah, how's it going, man?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, man. Thanks. So I kind of along the line of your move to Grand Rapids, obviously your first year here. I know you kind of bounced around a couple different teams, different organizations. What is it about your game that makes you so versatile in your variety of stops?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's my compete level. I think I just bring it every single night, and try and be consistent, and just outwork and shut guys down defensively, and do whatever I can to help the team win.
If you could you kind of take us inside the moment when you were named captain? Did you did you talk to Dan? Did you talk to Lash? Kind of what happened, and kind of what was in your mind and your heart when all that was happening?
Yeah, it was kind of a surprise. Coaches called me in to the office, and all the coaches were in there, and they let me know that I was going to be the captain, and it was a huge honor. It kind of gave me some butterflies, and you just want to do whatever you can to help the team, and to be seen like that, and in this organization, it was truly a big honor.
Absolutely. You've been able to check out Grand Rapids much. Maybe some people recognizing you around town, or some places that you like to go hang out. Obviously, I don't want to give too much away. I don't want to have swarms on you. But have you been able to adjust to Grand Rapids pretty well?
Yeah, it's been great. I've had some old buddies that have played here, and so I knew it was a great city before I even signed here. So I've gotten some tips from them and the guys that have been here a while, and found some really good restaurants to eat at. So it's been good. It's been fun.
Nice. And just last one for me, just um, it, you know, uh, we kind of already talked about. There's a lot of change going on with this organization, and you're the leader of the on ice changes. Just how excited have you been these first couple of games to be the leader for that change?
It's been really exciting. I see a lot that we have in this locker room. We got a great team and a great group. And I think we're bonding really well together, and I think we're getting better every day. And that's our goal, is to continue to get better both on and off the ice and put in the work, and it's going to translate to a lot of wins.
Josiah wasn't for the team in that Milwaukee game, but the first shift after they gave up that goal, you're there dropping the gloves with Narvin Mutter. Was that kind of a conscious decision on your part to kind of get a spark going for the lineup, or was that just a heat of the moment thing? It just happened.
Yeah, no, he kind of hit crosser early in the game, and I didn't really like that, and then going down 1-0, and I happened to be right next to him, and I was like, hey, why not, and just tried to get the boys going, and we responded after that, and that was a huge win for us.
Absolutely. Now you've spent the last four seasons as part of the Bruins organization. Now Boston and Providence, they've both seemingly always been at the top of the standings, and they really have brought about a culture of success there that Detroit and Grand Rapids really kind of want to mirror here as they're starting to build up into a contender. So As captain down here in Grand Rapids, how do you kind of try and help establish that culture here with the Griffins?
Yeah, I think it's just, leading by example. That's kind of what I do. I'm not the loudest guy in the room, but, when something needs to be said, I'll say it. But I think just, working hard every day, competing, doing the right things on and off the ice, and I think that's going to help build the culture. And, I think having everybody on the same page, it's going to create a lot. And I think it's going to be good for us.
Thanks, Josiah.
Thank you.
Hi, Josiah. You talk about the just the compete that you'll bring to the team. How important is it for you to have just the compete level and the leadership kind of rub off on some of the young defensemen there?
Yeah, that's what I want to do, is, being paired with the young guys. And, we got such great young talent on this team. And if, I think if they're just, they compete a little harder and that combined with their skill, they're going to have great, amazing careers. So if I can, lead by example and show them how to do that, then, that makes me happy.
Just what have been some of your impressions of some of those guys like Edvinsson, Johansson, some of those younger guys there?
Yeah, they've made huge impressions on me. They've been fun to play with and fun to watch. They do things with the puck that I can only dream of. So to be able to, not only for me to help them, but I think just watching them and learning, their poise and confidence they have with the puck, that's hopefully going to help my game as well.
Thanks, Josiah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hi, Simon. Just talk about your transition there. These first first few games here in Grand Rapids. How has it gone for you? Your start this season?
It's gone pretty good. I feel like I have a high level in my game. So of course, every game is different. But I feel like I have a high level defensively. Of course, every game can't be 100%, but that's what I'm searching for, to be as good as possible. And yeah, it feels good.
Just what was the message to you from the Red Wings coaching staff when they sent you down? What did they want you to work on, improve on the most from your game?
The word when I got sent down was pretty much they thought I did a good preseason, and that I should go down and keep playing the way I did up there. And of course, try to play as good as possible. I guess that was pretty much what I talked with them about. And I feel myself like I'm getting to that area that I know myself where I have to do. And I have a feeling myself after every game what I could do better. So I think that's an experience you learn as a kid to go into pro, to just have the self-awareness how you play after a game and what you could do better. So it wasn't really much talk what I could do better. It was just keep going the way I've been playing.
Just was it difficult at the start, just getting over just the disappointment of being sent down?
I would lie if I didn't if I said no. Of course, but it's hockey we play. It's a business. I wanted to win games. I wanted to win games up in Detroit. I wanted to play up there, and of course, it was a little disappointing at first. But as I get down to Grand Rapids, it's a great place to be, great place to develop, great team. So. Listen, I'm just trying to get better here, to get more secure when I get up there. So right now my focus is just to win games with this team. So yeah.
Thanks, Simon.
Simon, what is the biggest difference between last season and this season so far for you, as far as playing in the AHL?
Biggest difference? You mean as a player?
Yeah, the things that you've noticed, different this year as opposed to, when you were just getting started last year?
No, of course, it's a big difference. Last year when I got started, I was a little bit insecure how to play on smaller ice. It's a different kind of hockey from Sweden. And just last year I worked myself through that. It took me about half the season to really feel myself again. And since then I've been loving playing on smaller ice. I feel good out there, confident, and I think where I took off last year, I started this year and just building from that. So,
What are the things that you're working on improving this year to get back to the Red Wings?
but of course, it's playing simple. I feel confident in playing simple. I feel confident in ending plays. Of course, everything can get a little bit better, but I feel confident in pretty much everything I do. That's pretty important to have out there. So it's really nothing big that I feel like I have to address. It's just to have the consistency to play good every game and keep the same level every night. So I think that's something that I work on.
So the biggest adjustment is mental, not physical then.
Yeah, of course. I think that's what every great player say. It's mental. Everything is mental in the sports. It doesn't matter where you are. It's gonna come bumps. It's gonna go good for you, and yeah, just how you handle stuff.
Thank you.
Hey, Simon, I might get a little long-winded with my question here, but I know that there's been a lot of change with the organization. Obviously, you're coming back, obviously from last year to this year. And I know it's a different scenario, but to have a leader like Josiah, I know he's not your defensive partner, but to have a guy like that as the captain of the team to kind of lead everybody through this transition. I guess just how nice is it to have a guy like that, to have a grizzled vet like Josiah out leading the way for you guys?
No, of course. I remember first day I met him. He's you could just see he's a leader. He's been in the league for a long time. He's experienced, and you feel that on the ice. He knows what you have to do every day to be a good team. And I don't want to say replacement, but from last year, of course, great captain him as well. Josiah took that responsibility exceptional. I feel like he's a great leader in there, and don't know more to say. I feel like he's take good care of this team. So yeah, I'm happy with it.
Right on. Thanks, man.
Yes, just one for me. Having Lashoff as your coach now after being a teammate, what's that been like for you as a young prospect?
No, of course he just came from playing, and he understands how it is to play, and that's good. I feel like he understands everything, and he still have demands on guys, and that's what I like. He's hard, but he understands, and I feel like we've been, as a D group, we've been good so far. Of course, there's some things that we need to clean up, but I feel like we have good awareness of where it is we have to clean up, and Brian has helped us with that.
Carter, after a strong finish to last season, you had high hopes heading into camp, and obviously the injury kind of slowed down your momentum a bit. Where do you feel your game is at after these first few games back on the ice?
Yeah, it's been an adjustment for sure. It's kind of my first big injury that I really took. So it was kind of good adversity to have, especially at the beginning of the year, to battle through that and get back to where I am. And I feel like I've been playing pretty well the past 2 games, and I look forward to continuing that.
For sure. Do you think it was more of like a physical or mental battle for you to kind of get yourself back on the ice?
Yeah, I think being my first year and going to training camp and then getting hurt there was kind of more of a mental side of it, because that was something new to me, and just being able to watch people go through and do what they do kind of helped me in a way, I would say, too. But I would say it was more mental for sure, because I knew my physical ability was there, and I felt like I handled it pretty well.
Yeah, and now that you're back on the ice, it kind of seems that you had some instant chemistry with Lombardi and Soderblom out there, especially in Milwaukee. With a quick turnaround leading into your first few games, how do you end up using that what little time you have to get connected and on the same page with your line mates?
Yeah, so I live with Lombardi, so that's pretty easy to grow that chemistry, which has been pretty nice. And Elmer's also a great guy to talk to and kind of understand about their games when I was watching the first 6 games, because kind of knowing who I'm going to play with when I come back was kind of massive for me. And then just practicing with them every day. It's been nice, both young players that are growing every single day just like me. So it's been a blast so far, and we look forward to keep that chemistry going.
Who takes care of the cooking, you or Amadeus?
Amadeus for sure. He's a big cooker. He loves doing it.
For sure. The team early on here is just averaging just over 2 goals a game. Whether it's power play or even strength, what are some things you've seen from the ice level that are encouraging, and what can be worked on to see those numbers bump up a little bit?
Yeah, again, I think we're a really young team, so I feel like once we start that goal scoring ability, I know we have a lot of it in the locker room. Say everyone scores 1 goal and gets that confidence, I think the goals will just keep rising. And we have the team in the locker room to score a lot of goals. I know we do, and it's just a focus point at practice. We got to keep scoring goals, bearing down when we have the chances, and just taking the ability of scoring goals. That's kind of a huge thing in this league, and I think that's something we really need to focus on. And once we start doing that, we'll be kind of unstoppable.
That's all for me. Thanks, Carter.
Yeah, hi Carter. Just how much did the injury and the time off kind of set you back after you really seemed to be you came into training camp with a lot of momentum coming off your season last year in the Worlds?
Yeah, I kind of viewed it more so as it's everything happens for a reason. Maybe I wasn't ready, maybe I was, but I just feel like everything did happen for a reason, and I kind of still use my ability in my best way with the injury to keep getting better. I just worked out every single day, which kind of helped me because I do need to add more weight, and that was kind of a major focus. And I got 6 more weeks of it, so it was kind of huge heading into the year, but it kind of did hurt a little that I knew I was pushing for a spot for Detroit Red Wings, but I know I'm in a great spot here, and I just look forward to continuing that.
What happened? How were you? Was it in the it was in the prospects tournament, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the first 4 shifts into the prospect tournament. It was pretty tough. It was a lower body injury, and it happened really quick. I don't even remember how it happened. I just remember feeling something and just felt a little off and got it checked, and turned out it was a lot worse than I thought. But everything, like I said, everything again happens for a reason.
Just now that you're back, how much does it help with your transition here, having spent some time there late in the season, getting a little bit more familiar with the AHL?
Yeah, that was huge. I got 6 games in, and just to kind of feel out the league and kind of understand more about it was kind of massive. And heading into these games, I knew what to expect. I knew how we play and how the league kind of plays as well. So that was kind of, I would say those 6 games was really massive for me to get in.
Thanks, Carter.
Thank you.
Tim Robinson, Detroit Hockey Now.
Hi, Carter. How frustrating was it? You get to the prospects camp, and then all of a sudden you're on the shelf for 6 weeks. I mean, how challenging was that for you?
Yeah, it was pretty frustrating, but there's a great support system in Detroit, and having all the resources around was kind of easy to get me back into the mindset that, like, I'm still young. Like, I still have a lot more time to get to where I want to be, and it's just a minor setback. I could have been out for 9 months, but instead I'm out for 6 weeks. So there could have been a lot worse to it, but I'm happy that I'm back and skating already. So.
Did the Red Wings give you any instructions as to what they wanted you to work on in Grand Rapids this season?
Just keep working on my game. Every part of my game has ability to grow and get better. So that's kind of how I view it and how they view it. It's just taking every single day one step at a time and just trying to be as best as you can in practice and in games.
I imagine once you got going, you had a lot of pent up energy too.
Yeah, I was itching to get back for sure. It's especially playing in Grand Rapids, playing in my hometown. Well, not hometown, but in Michigan. It's just a pretty special feeling, and to finally be back out there and then playing a home game Friday, have a bunch of family friends. It's gonna be pretty awesome.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I guess first question, Marco, is just how would you characterize early part of your season to start off here?
I think we as a team we started off pretty good. Then we had to like overcome a little bit of adversity, but I think we've worked hard in practice, and we're just trying to push, get better as a team. That's for me to get better as a player, and I think we've done a good job over the past couple of weeks here.
This league is tough for 19-year-olds. How are you finding the adjustment personally, coming over from Sweden?
Yeah, it's a big adjustment. I mean, the smaller rink and everything, like the travel and stuff like that. It's for sure tough to adjust. I think I'm trying to improve every day. That's my main focus, and just working hard in practice so I can improve in those parts of the game.
What was the message from Detroit to you when they sent you to Grand Rapids?
I think that's like it's just like get down there, develop. I think like we've really good coaches here, skills coaches, skating coaches, and it's just go down there, do the best in games, and just improve every day in practice.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, hi Marco. Just your first year here in North America. How important is it for you? And I'm sure it's being stressed by the coaches, just to develop that 200-foot game, to be responsible defensively before focusing on offense.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, defense is a big part of the game. So, I mean, we're practicing a lot in practice. We watch video after games and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's important to make the right plays in the D, so make the right plays on the offensive, defensive blue line, get the pucks out and stuff like that. And I mean, just if we keep working, then the offense will come as well. So it's as you said, it's important to work on 200-foot game.
How would you assess your training camp in preseason? How did that go for you?
I think I didn't do my best job. I think it was hard for me coming over here, adjusting to smaller ice and playing here. I was not satisfied with myself, so that's why I just tried to do my best in practice now. Like I said, adjust to the things over here in North America and hold myself accountable and work as hard as I can.
Is part of the issue that just the speed of the game is do you need to kind of have slow the game down a little bit?
I think yeah, like the smaller rink just makes it faster. I think you gotta like have quicker decisions, and I also think like everybody's like kind of bigger here, more board battles and stuff like that, which I gotta like focus on to get better at.
Thanks, Marco.
Yeah, hi Marco. What's Simon said earlier that it took him about half the season to just kind of adjust to playing in the AHL. Do you talk with him about that making that adjustment?
Yeah, I've talked with him. I mean, that's what he told me as well. I agree. It's really hard. It's a hard league. It's hard to adjust to North American ice and all that stuff. I think I've done a better job in the past couple games. Like I said, just improving every practice, every game, and keeping my foot down and work hard.
What are some of the things that the Red Wings wanted you to work on in Grand Rapids this year?
It's I would say it's like you said, like just adjusting, and then like puck battles. There's a lot more puck battles that have to be won. I think like just 50-50 pucks, and like after a shot, just go on the rebound right away and win those pucks back.
Do you feel like you're adjusting pretty quickly already, or is it or I mean, or I know it's probably part of a process, but do you feel like you've adjusted already a little bit?
Yeah, I think so. Like I said, like doing better like past couple of games, and I mean, in the beginning it was tough, but now I think I get more and more comfortable finding like chemistry with my line mates and stuff like that, and like I said all the time, just keep working in practice. That's the most important part.
Is there anything that the Wings wanted you to improve on or to work on more than anything else, or is it the whole game they want you to work on?
I mean, it's obviously like just as a whole, but I think like you said, those puck battles, board battles, that's important here in North America, and they want me to do a really good job on that.
Thank you.
Hey, Brian, how's it going, man?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Just wanted to start. One, how's the transition from being a player to assistant coaching? How's that transition going for you?
It's been good. It's been a lot of fun. The prospect tournament, Traverse City, was a good starting point for me, and then learning and through training camp and being around the coaching staff in Detroit was a great learning process. And it was about a month, maybe even a little bit more than a month process of learning every single day, being around, coaches and guys that have been doing this for a long time. And that helped me a ton. And then obviously being around Dan Watson and Steph Julian, our coaches here. I mean, I can't say enough good things about, those two guys, how, detailed and smart they are and veterans in what they do. And I think that's made the transition for me a lot easier. And so it's been an exciting start, and I'm looking forward to continuing to get better at it.
Absolutely. And what's kind of been your role in these first couple of games, just on the bench? I guess, what have you been really focusing on?
Well, I'm in charge of obviously the defense and the penalty kill, and things obviously that I did a lot as a player. I was playing defense a long time, and then the penalty kill was a role that I had as a player for the majority of my career. So those things primarily, and then obviously a lot of similar things I did as an older player in the American League, which I think there are things that not too different from being a player to a coach, is helping young guys along, guys who are playing in North America for the first time, guys who are playing pro in general for the first time. I think having a coaching staff that has played pro and played in this league as well, I think it helps some of these young guys be able to transition quick. And so I think those are things and areas that I've obviously tried to do well in my transition from a player to a coach and be in charge of.
Awesome. We talked with Josiah at the start here, and obviously him being named captain. What makes him the right fit for the captaincy for the Griffins? And I guess just yeah, you know what? Let's just go there. What makes him the right fit for the captaincy?
Well, a good person, number one. Cares about his teammates, cares about winning in this league. A veteran guy who's done it in the past. Has a respect of his teammates. He's a warrior on the ice. We obviously knew that about him going in, and I've seen no different. I mean, I think he plays the game the right way. He plays hard. He plays for the guy next to him, and I think in that position is number one. You got to be relied on by your teammates, and I think not only on the ice but off the ice as well. You got to be a guy that not only young players but old players feel comfortable coming to and talking to about anything, whether it's life in general or hockey specific things. And I've only known him for a little while, obviously now, but great person, great teammate, and I think those are great qualities and obviously things that are musts for a guy to be in that position.
Awesome. Thanks for that. And last one for me. Yeah, I know you had already mentioned Dan. Just what's it been like working with him? I mean, there's a lot of transition within the franchise, and he and Josiah and you, of course, there's a lot of change, a lot of leadership. But what's it like working with Dan and how he's kind of gone about this transition for the club?
Well, I think it's been great from day one. I think, like you said, a lot of change in different parts of the organization, and I think Waddy coming in. I think I've known Waddy for a long time, obviously from his time in Toledo. We've both been in the organization for a while, so I did know him before this, and heard nothing but good things about him as a coach, and obviously I knew him a little bit as a coach as well, and
I think he's come in and done a great job of, building relationships with the players, the guys that he's known in the past, obviously that he's built relationships with, but the new guys as well. And obviously me coming in, doing this for the first time, I couldn't ask for a better situation with a guy that, obviously I knew a little bit, but also have a ton of respect for with, how he coaches, how he treats human beings. And I think, he has a lot of respect from the players in the room. I know that for sure. And being able to work and learn alongside him every day, I think, is a great situation for me being a coach for the first time, and learning from him and from Steph as well, our other assistant coach. I think having that type of relationship with those two guys, it helps me a ton, and I think it helps the young guys and even the older guys as well continue to get better, and in a transition where you're having a whole new staff and like you said, a different group of guys in the room.
Awesome. Thanks, Brian. Appreciate it, man.
Yep, no problem.
Hi, Brian. Simon Edvinsson, how would you assess his play early on, and what are you looking for him to improve on as the season goes on?
Well, number one, I thought he had a great camp. I thought he played very well in Detroit. I thought, the first couple games in GR, I think he continued that. He played well. Just consistency, playing well. I mean, I know there's games for sure that, I've talked to him too, that he feels very good, and he looks like he's doing the right things to transition and hopefully, play in the NHL. And I mean, listen, he's a great talent. He's a very good kid. He wants to learn every single day. His work ethic's very good. It's just a matter of consistency and doing it every day. And I see a lot of everyone does see a lot of potential in him to play in the NHL for a very, very long time. And it's just a matter of honing in little details in his game that will help him for when he goes to the NHL, that he's ready to stay there and for a long time and not come back to Grand Rapids. And I think he's got a good mindset on him. So it's just a matter of consistently doing it every day, and then he'll be in the NHL.
Does it help as a coach? Does it help you knowing that you played with him last year? You can you have a little bit better understanding of what he does well and what he needs to work on.
Yeah, I mean, I think I played with him. Obviously, I played with him as partners a little bit last year as well. So I kind of know how he sees the game, how he thinks it. Because I mean, as an older guy, I think what I tried to learn a lot in the latter part of my career was not just playing with a guy. It's when you come off the ice and you're on the bench, talking through shifts, talking through situations that you were just in. So I do know what he thinks when he's coming back. So it's been nice to be on the bench as well. So when he does come back, I can talk to him about certain things. And, I think, like I said earlier, I think he's got a great mindset that, he wants to be better every single day. He wants to do the little things right to get better. And, I mean, I think that's only going to help him. And the biggest thing is when, learning those things while he's down here. So when he does go to the NHL, he can stay and he can contribute right away, because I think that's the biggest thing. He's going to be, with the talent he has, he's going to be an impact player in the NHL. It's just a matter of when he's there, being able to do it right away.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, hi, Brian. Just talking about Simon, and you mentioned his mindset has been good, his frame of mind. Just how important is that, the mental part of it, for a guy like him, who I'm sure feels urgency to get to the NHL as soon as he can?
I think it's huge. I mean, I've been in this organization as a player for a long time, and I've seen a lot of guys go through that similar type situation where, have played well or had a good camp, and they do get sent down. And I think, and I've had these talks with them as well. I mean, it's just a matter of, this can be a hard time where, you played well and now you're in the minors, and it's just a matter of consistently doing the things the right way every single day to put yourself back in the NHL, because he played there at the end of the year a little bit last year, and he knows that. And I think being able to have that kind of mindset every single day is tough, but it's the only way to do it, and it's the only way to get yourself back to the NHL. So he knows there's things he has to work on, and yeah, we all as a coaching staff are here for him to help him. And I think, him having a great coach in Wadi that'll be able to work with him every single day, and Steph runs a lot of the power play stuff with him, which he'll be able to excel at, and a guy like me who's played with him and has a good relationship with him, but we'll be able to tell him when I think he's coming off it, and when I think he's doing things the right way. And I think we have that good type of relationship where I'll be able to tell him that, hopefully, when he's ready to go to the NHL, he's ready to stay.
So, how has Wallender's transition to North America been so far?
He's been doing well. I think Wally's similar. Did some good stuff early on, and just learning the North American game, especially in the American League. It's it can be a forechecking league where you got to make plays under pressure, and being able to play quick and end plays quick and all that type of stuff, and a lot of things that a lot of young D need to learn, playing in North America for the first time, and even just playing pro for the first time. You're playing against men every single day, but I think Wally's done a good job. He's played in he's played in men's pro league before in Sweden, and so you can tell he has a lot of good attributes that have translated well to coming over to the American League. And but similar thing, just patience and being able to consistently do it every day and playing hard, in a league that requires that, I think is going to be good for him. But he's like similar to Simon, great kid, wants to learn every day, works hard, and I think that's anytime you can have that sort of base in a personality from a young athlete, I think that helps, and his development, and it'll help his development. It'll expedite it for sure.
Thanks, Brian.
Yep.
Yeah, Brian, just for you as a coach now, how's that adjustment? You just played with some of these guys last year. How easy is it to kind of flip over to the coach mode and put the player side behind you?
I think I thought about it a lot over the summer. How was it? And I think I've had a lot of help, obviously, with Wadi, and Steph. And I think the biggest thing for me was to kind of just jump right into it right away, attack everything, and get on the board right away during practices, run meetings and all that stuff for penalty kill and all. And I think being able to kind of just do it right away. I think initially, it can be a little bit strange. I remember I drew a drill up in Detroit, and Larkin was giving me a big round of applause after, and a couple of guys. And I think it's good. You get it out of the way right away. So guys, when we get back to Grand Rapids, it's not as strange seeing, the guy that you're in the room with, doing the type of things a coach needs to do. So I think attacking it right away was the only way to do it, and feeling comfortable a couple weeks into the season, as quick as possible. So.
And then just as a player, if your team is behind or what have you, you can go out there and do something to change the game. As a coach, kind of once the game starts, or you can only do so much. How's that adjustment like to kind of not have that control over the game as much?
Yeah, I think for sure as a player, there's things you can control in the ice. And as a coach, I think similar to when I was a player, especially later in my career, an older player, like I said earlier, you're talking through things on the bench with your partner, especially as a D man, and I think constantly trying to talk to these guys as they come off the ice about things they saw, and also, I mean, there's mistakes are going to happen. I understand that. I made mistakes as a player. I get it. And being able to let guys learn through these mistakes, but also, talk them through different options. I mean, I think them having a voice back there that'll be able to talk to them in every situation, good or bad, is huge. And obviously I've learned through the video process too, being able to talk to them through after weekend games, that it means a lot that, to have somebody that'll be able to talk you through some of these situations, that I've been through in the past. And not just situations on the ice. I've been through these situations where they get sent down or they get called up and then come down after a bit. And, I've been through a lot of these scenarios, and I know the mindset that a young 20, 24-year-old kid has from, getting sent down, or he might get his first taste of the NHL, what it's like. So I think having a guy that has been through the same situations that they've been through on the ice, whether it's in an away rink that they've never played in, or travel when it can be tough, or off ice stuff that they're dealing with for the first time.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, Dan. Just with Simon as a young defenseman here coming back to Grand Rapids again, he got some taste of the NHL. How do you try to manage a player now who has a year in this league under his belt and is trying to take that next step?
Well, he's hungry, wants to get to the NHL, as a lot of young players do, and it's making sure he understands that when he's here trying to play his way out of the league. You do that by showing up, being a pro every day. Make sure you're taking care of yourself off the ice, away from the arena. When you're at the ice, you're at the arena, you're giving it your all, and he certainly does that. Like he's right there, and he wants to be playing hockey, high level hockey, which he is, and that's the only thing that can get him up to the NHL, is making sure he's playing his best all the time and being his best all the time.
And then just with Josiah being named captain, he was captain in Providence, obviously. What did you see early on in him that made him a top candidate, and obviously the choice eventually for the position?
Well, Josiah's a team guy. He'll do anything for the team, for the players. He brings guys together. We want to change the culture here, and one way to do that is to put someone who's been in a role on a good team, inside a good locker room, as a leader here, and he certainly fits that bill. With that said, he shows up every day. He's one of the first guys here, making sure his body's ready to go for practice. He's doing the right things away from the arena. Again, it's everything that qualities we look for in a leader, a captain. He possesses those qualities and has no problem doing it.
And just on that question or the issue of changing the culture, how do you want to change it? As your first year in Grand
Well,
Rapids.
it's making sure the guys understand that as a staff, we care about them. We're here for them. We want them to have success. We want this to be a positive learning environment for them every day. We want the arena to be fun. They spend a lot of time here. So we want to make sure that it's somewhere that they want to be, and we're trying to do that. And so far, I think it's been really good inside that locker room, and that's one of the biggest things. If guys are happy, they're come to work. That's when you start to see results on the ice, and I think we're starting to turn that corner.
With Marco Kasper, what are some of the things you've seen from him so far, and what are you looking for from him the rest of the season?
Well, he's been progressing nicely. Again, one of those guys that competes extremely hard. Now it's finding that offensive touch a little bit. That will come, but it's making sure that he understands what it's like to be a pro. He's 19 years old. Obviously, he's coming over here and trying to make his way. With Marco, he shows up every day. He's on the ice before practice, after practice. He wants it. He cares. He's doing all the skill development drills to his best ability. It just might take a little bit of time for him here to get adjusted. But with that said, he has aspirations to make the NHL, and he's working hard to get there. So it's being patient with him, getting him to understand a 200-foot game, understand what it's like to compete against experienced players at this level, and he's getting the opportunity to do so.
So the biggest challenge for players at this level, is it mental or physical?
A little bit of both. I think a lot of it is mental. It's dealing with things away from the arena. A lot of times these guys come in, whether it's from junior, living with billets, now it's learning to cook for yourself, learning to take care of an apartment, going to find an apartment. All these things at the start of the year weigh into what it's like mentally at the arena too. They're worrying about things outside of the arena. That's normal. It's human nature. And so we're just trying to make sure that when they're here, they're focused on the task at hand. Physically, yeah, younger guys typically need to get stronger in certain areas, whether it's, physically developing, harder on sticks, harder in certain areas of the ice. But with Marco, he's a competitor, and he's got that down pat.
With Simon, he said last year was a year of adjustment for him. How close is he, do you think, is it just a matter of consistency as far as becoming an NHL player?
I think that's the key right there. It's consistency on a daily basis. He's aware of it. He knows it. It's being dialed in on the simple things, the simple passes in practice, making sure those are always 100%. So for him, it's it's being great at simple, basically, every day in practice and understanding the intensity that he has to practice with and play with. And, we've liked what we've seen so far within the locker room, on the ice, during the games. He's been a phenomenal player for us right now.
You've gotten Carter Mazur back. I know he's only played a couple of games, but what impact has he had on your team so far?
Well, I think he's a driver of any line he's on right now, playing with Lombardi and Soderblom. He drives that line. He goes through bodies. He goes through sticks. He's hard on pucks and bodies. Like that's what we needed, and he's added that spark to that line, but also to our team. So, big contributor in that part of it. I think getting back up to speed, getting the pace of his game, making plays under pressure in top speed. That's what he's working on right now, and I expect him to here in the next week. We've got a lot of games coming up here. He's going to find that rhythm back, and he's going to be a special player for us.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, hi Dan. You've got a few players here who got a taste of the NHL last year, and Edvinsson, Berggren, and Soderblom. And just wondered, what's the kind of the message to them when they come back to Grand Rapids, as far as how to handle that part, just the mental aspect of not being where they had hoped to be.
Yeah, you know what, that is tough. And again, I think, when Detroit breaks camp and everyone filters down to Grand Rapids and they're told, I'm sure there's that disappointment those first few days. But the message that we've had all along here from day one is play where your feet are at. And right now they're in Grand Rapids. And you got to show that you can play your way out of this league. Be elite as a defenseman, be elite as forwards at their own roles and at their own jobs, and what Detroit will need them for when they're called upon. So it's just making sure that they're ready. So when they do get that opportunity, they're going to have success. But that's for us, that's the way you go about it. Continue to work, put your head down, making sure that they're doing the right things all the time, and play hard for the Griffins, and that's going to help you get back up to the Red Wings.
And you talked about Mazur. You obviously didn't get a chance to look at him in training camp, or coach him last year. But just what coming into the season, what did you know about him, and what was the feedback that you got from the organization of what to expect from him?
Yeah, I think, the biggest feedback I got was probably from Derek from World Championships. Derek was able to see him there for a number of games and some good competition, especially through the medal rounds, and things in his game that he needed to work on. And maybe it's puck management at certain times of the game, trying not to do too much at certain times of the game. And we saw that early on right now, a couple of turnovers late in a 2-1 game, just those little types of things. If he can clean those up, which he will, he's going to be a really good player here, just the way he plays. And that's the other thing too. One thing Derek told me was he plays through bodies already. He's ready for that type of physicality, that type of pro play. And we've seen it in the 2 games he's played already. Even coming off an injury, there's no fear to go to net fronts, no fear to battle in the corners. And that's a special type of player that can do that right out of the gate.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you.
Coach, I want to dial it back to that Milwaukee game. Not the greatest start, but you guys turned around and produced maybe your best period of hockey there in the second. What did you see from the guys to be able to respond to adversity like that on the road?
Well, I think structurally we're better. Guys understanding what we need offensively, defensively from them, how hard it is. I think that's something we've seen in the early going, that it's tough to win on any given night here at this level, especially our young guys who are going through it for the first time. We knew Milwaukee was going to be a good shutdown team, judging by their video we watched, the stats that they had previous to that game. So we want to make sure we're on our toes, and I thought our guys skated extremely well. They put pucks in places to get it back. Things we weren't doing early on, we did in Milwaukee. It's a good measuring stick. Now we know what standards and expectations are from this group, and we've got the next challenge is to follow it up.
Yeah. Right now we got 9 defensemen on the roster. Obviously, only 6, maybe 7 spots to fill with that. So how do you try to balance getting some of these younger guys enough playing time while also trying to ice the lineup that gives you the best chance to win?
Well, we've got a couple guys injured right now that aren't in the lineup, so I guess that helps a little bit. So right now we have 7 healthy that can play, and the biggest message we have, that's competitive, and it's competitive roster. Guys got to be at their top of their game to try and make the lineup, especially on that back end. You know, every single one of them can play in this league. Now, with that said, we've got to develop players and making sure that they're doing the right things on the ice. You can't, you know, be scared to make mistakes. You can't play timid and just go attack the game. So some of these guys that have been in and out of the lineup, that's the message. At some point in time, you know, these guys have to take advantage of those opportunities and win those spots. But I like our decor a lot. Again, 9 guys that can play in this league. We've seen it. Right now we're rolling with 7, and you know, it is a balancing act, but that's part of the job.
Yep. As it stands, you know, the Griffins have the least amount of power play opportunities in the AHL. You guys have executed when you do get those opportunities, but what's got to happen for you guys to maybe draw some more calls and give yourself more of a chance to get some goals on the board?
It's getting to the net for sure. Offensive zone play. We just have to make sure that we're getting bodies there. We're attacking teams with speed. We haven't done a good enough job of that yet. Those are the opportunities that are going to help us guys get more penalty or get more power plays, and hopefully, you know, I think with getting more power plays that ignites the 5-on-5 offensive play too. But that's one big thing we've struggled with is drawing penalties, and we have to make sure that, you know, again, getting to the net, forcing some chances against, force teams to get back on their heels. That's when the stick infractions, the holding, the hooking, those types of penalties will happen. So it's on our guys to make sure that we're drawing penalties in those certain areas.
That's all for me. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Austin Chastain, Greenville Daily News.
Hey there, Dan. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I am good. Obviously there's you know, been a lot of transition with this franchise, and you're the head man for that. Just what has this transition been like? And obviously it's a lot of transition for you as well. You know, coming up from Toledo, but what's this transition like been for you? I guess both coming in and leading the way for, you know, for this franchise.
Well, so far it's been great. I mean, you kind of get a feel of what to expect. I mean, being in the ECHL and having the ability to talk to the previous coaches who have been here, you get a feel for what it's like. But until you actually are sitting in the chair and have the lineup in front of you and everything else, you know, you kind of try to weed through there. But I think for me personally, I think getting to know the staff, you know, early on in training camp was a big thing. Getting to know the players, you know, personally, that's a big thing. And then from there, just coaching, just understanding the league, knowing the types of teams we're playing against. You know, it's going to be nice here after this weekend to get into some more of our division games and seeing what those teams are all about. So I don't want to say it's a feeling through process or feeling way process, but at the same time, a little bit of that is happening. But so far, a lot of good learning moments, you know, just how to deal with the daily schedule of skating coaches, skills coaches. You want to run an effective practice, but you don't want to wear the players down for the weekend. So little nuances like that have been a learning experience for myself, not having all those resources to us at the ECHL level. And then just the amount of video and the time that goes in with that and spending time with players through that. Our assistant coach has done a great job preparing our players and just making sure our guys are prepared for weekends or game days. You know, we want to make sure they're at their best. And that's sort of been one of those things that as a coach, a young coach at this level, dealing with all of those.
Right, absolutely. And then throwing the winning Wednesdays into the mix too, the weeknight games, that makes it different. Are those little nuances oh goodness. Are those little nuances where, you know, obviously because you had a lot of success in Toledo, are those here that is it more that we're just gonna come in and do our own thing that we did in Toledo that made us, but then you throw in these nuances and those nuances difference to success in the American League?
Yeah, it's different of a balancing act. You have a lot of teams, you know, and I think typically in the ECHL, so you have all one pair. Now it's times will start to become limited rolls on. We've been fortunate with a lot of practice lately. And, you know, so Wednesdays and Fridays, we'll start to get into a rhythm, but that work ethic and work, I guess, for the guys, Wednesdays, but also get our work prepared for the weekend too. So that we'll find that balance. Yeah, I've brought a lot of stuff, but also Steph ran a very successful program here, so he's brought some things. Obviously, having Brian Lashoff, who's been rock here in Grand Rapids for the past 14 years, he's provide a lot of behind the scenes and how they used to do things or what didn't work. So this is extremely important in that law too. So a good balance and we these nuances and trial and error, what works and
Just two more from me. I know you talked about Josiah, but when we were speaking with and the moment when captain, having him coming to your guys' office, just what was for you being able to name him captain and to have him a leader for the on ice leader. And again, you already talked about being able to on this how nice.
It was great. I mean, it's one of those special for anybody, and you're that player to tell him some good news, and I know he's extremely honored to be the captain. But again, I take leadership forward, and I think it's that if you're going to have a successful team on the ice and off the ice, you need a guy like Josiah. Also, too. It wasn't just Josiah who was up for that captain. There could have been 2, 3, 4 other teams and players at sea as well. But we just felt at the end of the day, he brought experience. He's been doing it now for the last years in Providence, a very successful franchise as well. And I think it's important to name the right guy. We feel but just having him come in his office, letting him know, letting the leadership group, and finally announcing it to the teams. Special moment as a coaching staff going through. Certainly, I know, like I said, to be the
And last one for me, for you personally, it's the very beginning to where you are today. What has this whole journey been like for you?
It's been special, to be honest with you. Being named a head and guy to be a coach at the ECHL level, then jump right to the head coach level was Derek Lalonde back in 2016. So, right away, that's extremely special. Remain with the affiliation, Detroit Rapids Toledo, to remain within that, something very special. But the fun really started putting together, figuring out in Grand Rapids, who's going to be in Detroit, going through that process, the whole training camp experience, being part of everything, getting the ability to be on a bench for a game, certainly enjoyable, great experience there. So all these little things that add up to big experiences have put me in a good spot mentally, put us in a rhythm in that coach's office. It's a lot of fun. Let's put it that way. It's fun to be a coach. It's hard work. But you get when you put all that hard work in, you start to see success. That's when that rewards happen, and we just want to make sure that our players are given the best opportunity to have success, and that's our job as coaches, to manage them, to put them in places to succeed. And so for that's the best part about this job.
Awesome. Thanks, Dan. I appreciate it.
Yep. Thanks.